Hey everyone, it's me Steven with the Handmaidens. It's Memorial Day weekend, the sun is shining, the birds are singing. Can you hear it? And people are doing yard work. They're getting their chores done this weekend because in the Northeast, this is the weekend to get the party started. It is time to get your gardens kicked off if you haven't done so already by covering them. We shouldn't be having any frost in our zone anymore. And this is when everybody gets going. So what I'm going to be doing today, I've got a little bit of time before a family party later, is I'm going to mulch my vegetable garden to do a couple of things. I want to keep the weeds down. I know I had a video about how beneficial dandelions are, and they are, but when they're choking out my vegetables for my family to eat, I kind of want to discourage them from being in that particular spot. I've got other spots for them, but in my vegetable garden, I just need vegetables to be growing. I also need to keep moisture in there. Your vegetables aren't going to grow without moisture. Also, there's several different schools of thought for weed suppression, holding moisture. Some people use plastic, other people use wood chips. What I'm going to use is leaf mold. Why? Because it's organic, it's good for the soil, and best of all, it's free. I picked up these 29 bags, actually 30 bags, from a neighbor, and she was more than happy to give them away because she missed the deadline for our town municipality to pick them up and take them to the spot to dump them away to use for the town's needs if they need mulch or something like that. We're making our own mulch right here in my little suburban home. So I've been, and this kind of mimics the back to Eden gardening. As you see, I've got plenty of leaves and things like that, and I've right here, this is what it turns into. Can your plastic do that? This is soil. This is soil. It's a living, breathing thing, and we want aerobic activity, not anaerobic. So we need the leaves to be crushed up fine to make this beautiful leaf mold that keeps the. Look at how damp this is. Everything's dry on top, but underneath, where your roots are, where your plants are getting its nutrients from, there's some thicker stuff in there. That's okay. The plants don't mind. Everywhere where it needs to be damp and moist, it is. But it's also able to have oxygen go into it. And the microorganisms, the fungi, all of that stuff, it's all there, and it's all living and breathing and being happy. There's no Miracle-Gro in there, guys. I don't use that stuff. I don't use anything except for God has given us. Leaves. Beautiful leaves. Okay? I'll filter in compost that my chickens create when I feed them food scraps, and I give them leaves to scratch and bed on, and their manure. That'll go in there as well. But that's more of a fall type thing. That's when I amend the soil then to help everything out. Now, one thing you might be thinking is, Steven, leaves are filled with carbon. They are gonna screw up your pH. Well, guess what, guys? I would if I was burying it into the ground where the roots are. What I'm doing is I'm top dressing. Just a little layer on the top. And that's it. That's it. And you know what? It's going to do its job, and then the squirmy wormies are going to come up and they're going to get all this stuff, and they're going to munch on the leaves on the top, and they're going to create nitrogen. That's right. And you're going to have a beautiful relationship between carbon and nitrogen. And what does that create? That creates compost. And what does compost create? Soil. You don't want dirt. Dirt is like soil, but it's devoid of life. Dirt is what happens on my kids' motocross tracks, and you get all that dust from them tearing up the land. So that's why people have to amend their dirt bike tracks, because the dirt tires, they beat up all the microorganisms in the soil, And then, oh, we got a train coming by. But, so, and then people go in and they amend the soil. They bring in wood chips, they bring in clover seeds, they bring in rye seeds, and that creates nitrogen and carbon, and it creates soil, and then it lets the kids continue to ride in the very same place over and over again. And so, same thing happens with gardening. I don't till my gardens. I'm doing a no-till, kind of back to Eden-ish, if you will, method, and we're just doing it that way, so that way my family can have good, clean eating, and we can know where our food came from. So guys, what you're gonna want to do is when you get your leaf bags, unfortunately, not everybody is conscientious of what they put into them. Sometimes they view them as trash bags as well. So you're gonna just want to run your fingers through, check out to see if there's anything. See, I've got my son Aiden here helping. Can you say hi?
Hi.
And he's helping look for any trash that might be in there. We're not seeing anything. And also you want to look for larger sticks. You want to look for larger sticks. Yep, things that you don't want your mower chopping up, because you don't want to dull your blade in the process. And then you get it in a nice row. You get it in a nice row, and then you run your mower over it to chop things up, so that way the garden isn't smothered and you don't get that anaerobic environment for your plants. You want your roots to get oxygen to them. You also want to, hold on buddy, use the bags over any green areas. See, any green areas, flatten it out, so that way you have a permeable surface for your plants to go through. The oxygen will seep through, and the grasses will die out during a decomposition process. And then the bag is made of paper. It's made of the same thing that the leaves are essentially made of, and then it's just a beautiful thing, and it happens. That's what you wind up with after you mow it. So we're going to take it out. I only mowed up a little bit. As you can see, there's some right here that I can rake up. And then you go and you dump it on. And you wind up with this beautiful organic matter. The rule of thumb with annual gardens, like vegetable garden, is that they are going to want about 4 inches of mulch to keep the weeds down, but allow the plants to grow and develop. Perennial gardens, like if you were to have an orchard or a food forest, you'd want to have a minimum of 6 inches. So that way you're not out there all the time worrying about mulching. Your annual gardens, you'll be out there a lot faster. So I hope this video helps you out. I hope you give us a like, give us a subscription, ring the bell, so that way you know when more of our stuff is. It's summertime. We're going to be more active. The ham maidens are out of hibernation. Okay, guys? It's also Memorial Day weekend, so please take time to honor our fallen heroes. Honor our veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, so that we can enjoy these beautiful sunny days and make YouTube videos, do some gardening, drink some daiquiris. Check out my mom's video on how to make a daiquiri. Looked pretty strong, so I don't think I'll be doing that, but if that's your cup of tea, then I suggest you sip on it. All right, guys, have a blessed day. Bye.